What if I told you a simple 10-second move could instantly make you stand taller, reduce neck pain, and take years off your posture, even if you're over 50? Today, I'm sharing the powerful alignment secret inspired by Japan's oldest doctor, and once you try it, you'll feel the difference almost immediately. Stay with me, because this tiny change could transform how your neck, shoulders, and entire body feel every single day. Forward head posture is often dismissed as just a visual issue, something people notice in photos or when they catch their reflection, but its impact goes far beyond appearance, especially for adults over 50 whose bodies are already adapting to natural age-related changes. When the head drifts even a few centimeters in front of the shoulders, the mechanical load on the cervical spine increases dramatically because the neck muscles must work harder to support the weight of the head, which can feel like carrying several extra kilograms throughout the day. Over time, this constant strain contributes to stiffness, reduced range of motion, and that familiar tightness many people feel at the base of the neck and across the upper shoulders. The body often compensates by rounding the upper back and tightening the chest, creating a chain reaction of imbalance that can influence how comfortably a person sits, stands, and moves. Fatigue is another common consequence, because muscles that are meant to stabilize quietly in the background are forced into continuous overwork, which drains energy and can make even simple tasks feel more tiring than they should. Many people don't connect their frequent tension headaches with posture. Yet forward head alignment places extra stress on the small muscles at the base of the skull, an area closely linked with headache patterns. So improving alignment can sometimes reduce how often these headaches appear. Breathing efficiency can also be affected because a forward head position encourages a collapsed chest, limiting how freely the ribcage expands, which means the body may rely on shallower breaths that contribute to feelings of low energy or restlessness. Balance is another important but overlooked factor, particularly for older adults, since the head acts as a counterweight for the body, and when it shifts forward, the center of gravity moves with it, subtly reducing stability and increasing the effort required to stay upright during walking or changing directions. Over months and years, these small stresses accumulate, influencing joint wear, muscle tension patterns, and overall comfort, which is why people often notice gradual increases in neck and upper back discomfort without a clear injury or single cause. The visual change of a more hunched posture can also influence confidence and mood, because posture and emotional state are closely connected through the nervous system. So when alignment improves, people frequently report feeling more alert and self-assured. Understanding that forward head posture is a functional issue rather than simply an aesthetic one helps shift the focus from quick cosmetic fixes to meaningful daily habits that support the spine, muscles, and nervous system in working together more efficiently, which is why recognizing these effects early can motivate consistent small adjustments that protect comfort, mobility, and overall well-being over time, while the body continues adapting to the positions and movements it experiences, most often during everyday life and routine activities that gradually shape how the neck and upper body carry themselves throughout the day, without most people even realizing how much influence these subtle patterns have on how they feel from morning to evening, as the cumulative load continues to interact with muscle endurance, joint sensitivity, and habitual movement patterns in ways that can either reinforce strain or gradually ease it, depending on how alignment is managed moment to moment. The idea of an instant fix for forward head posture doesn't mean forcing the body into a rigid position or trying to hold a stiff pose all day, but rather teaching the nervous system to recognize what balanced alignment feels like, so the muscles that are designed to support the head can switch back on naturally. The most effective starting point is a gentle realignment that begins with lengthening through the spine, as if the crown of the head is being lightly lifted upward, creating space between each vertebra and reducing the compression that builds from hours of sitting or looking down. From this lengthened position, the key movement is a subtle chin glide straight backward, not down, which helps reposition the head directly over the shoulders, where the skeletal structure can carry weight more efficiently instead of leaving the muscles to do all the work. This small motion activates the deep neck stabilizers, a group of muscles that often become underused over time yet play a crucial role in maintaining steady, comfortable alignment, and many people are surprised at how quickly they feel a sense of support at the back of the neck when these muscles engage. Because the movement is gentle and controlled, it avoids triggering tension in the larger surface muscles that tend to overcompensate, which is why it can feel relieving rather than effortful when done correctly. Pairing the chin glide with relaxed shoulders is equally important since tension in the shoulders can counteract the benefits by pulling the head forward again. So allowing the shoulders to drop naturally while breathing slowly helps reinforce a more balanced posture pattern. Repeating this adjustment for just a few seconds at a time throughout the day sends consistent signals to the brain about where neutral alignment is, and the nervous system responds by gradually making this position feel more familiar and less like a correction that requires effort. One of the reasons this approach works so quickly is that posture is largely controlled by the brain's perception of where the body is in space, and when you gently guide the head back into alignment, you're essentially updating that internal map, allowing the body to redistribute tension more evenly across the neck and upper back. Many people notice that their breathing feels deeper almost immediately because the chest is no longer compressed, which further reinforces relaxation and reduces the tendency to slump forward again. Over time, these brief realignments build endurance in the stabilizing muscles, meaning the head stays aligned longer without conscious effort, and the strain that once accumulated by the end of the day begins to diminish. The beauty of this method is its simplicity, because it doesn't rely on strength alone, but on coordination and awareness, making it accessible for people of different fitness levels and particularly valuable for those over 50 who benefit from low strain, high impact habits that support joint health and muscle efficiency. When practiced consistently, even for a few seconds at a time, this gentle realignment becomes less of an exercise and more of a natural posture reset that the body begins to adopt automatically as it learns that this position requires less effort and feels more comfortable throughout daily movements and activities that continually reinforce the alignment pattern as the muscles and nervous system adapt together in a subtle but meaningful way that encourages lasting change without the need for the longs of force or prolonged way, where it calls for prolonged effort. Posture tends to improve most effectively when awareness is paired with gentle mobility, because the body responds best to a combination of recognizing alignment and having the freedom to move into it without restriction, especially as muscles and joints naturally become less elastic with age. Awareness is the first step, because many people spend long periods in positions that gradually pull the head and shoulders forward without noticing. So simply checking in with how the neck feels, where the shoulders rest, and whether the chest feels open can begin to interrupt those patterns. Once that awareness is there, mobility becomes the tool that allows change to happen comfortably, since tight tissues in the chest, shoulders, and upper back often act like invisible anchors that keep the body from settling into a more upright position even when someone tries to correct it. Opening the chest gently helps counteract the shortening that occurs from daily activities like reading, cooking, or using a phone, and when the front of the body releases, the shoulders can naturally fall back into a more neutral position without strain. Relaxing the shoulders is equally important because tension in this area often signals the nervous system that the body is under stress, which encourages protective tightening that reinforces poor posture patterns. So consciously letting the shoulders drop and soften can create a sense of ease that supports better alignment. Frequent short reset moments throughout the day act as reminders that retrain posture gradually rather than forcing a single long correction. And these brief pauses give the muscles a chance to redistribute effort so no single area becomes overworked. A reset might last only 10 seconds, but during that time lengthening the spine, allowing the shoulders to rest, and breathing slowly sends a clear message to the body that this balanced position is safe and comfortable. And repeating these resets builds familiarity, so the posture begins to feel natural rather than imposed. Mobility also improves circulation to the muscles and joints, which helps reduce stiffness and keeps tissues more responsive, making it easier for the body to return to neutral alignment after sitting or repetitive tasks. Another benefit of combining awareness with movement is that it encourages a more dynamic concept of posture, where the goal isn't to hold one rigid position, but to move fluidly around a neutral baseline, allowing the body to adapt to different activities without accumulating tension. Over time, these small adjustments create a feedback loop where improved mobility makes it easier to notice alignment, and better awareness encourages more movement, reinforcing each other in a way that supports long-term comfort and resilience. This approach is particularly helpful for adults over 50 because it respects the body's need for gentle, sustainable habits rather than intense corrections, and it fits easily into daily routines without requiring special equipment or long exercise sessions, making consistency more achievable. As these reset moments and mobility practices become part of everyday life, the body gradually shifts toward a posture that feels lighter and more balanced, with less strain on the neck and shoulders and a greater sense of ease during routine activities, all developing through repeated small choices that guide the muscles and nervous system toward working together more efficiently throughout the day as movement and awareness continue reinforcing one another in subtle but meaningful ways that support lasting comfort and alignment over time. Small daily habits play a far greater role in shaping posture than occasional workouts because the body adapts primarily to the positions it spends the most time in. And for many people, those positions involve sitting, looking down at devices, or leaning forward during routine tasks. Each time the head tilts toward a phone or the shoulders round while reading or watching television, the muscles and joints receive a subtle message about what position is normal. And over weeks and months, those repeated signals become ingrained patterns that influence how the body holds itself, even when standing or walking. This is why adjusting the height of a phone or bringing a screen closer to eye level can have a surprisingly powerful effect, since keeping the eyes level encourages the head to remain stacked over the shoulders instead of drifting forward, reducing unnecessary strain on the neck. Sitting position matters just as much because when the lower back is supported and the pelvis is neutral, the spine can maintain its natural curves more easily, allowing the upper body to stay upright without excessive muscle effort. Breathing patterns are another subtle yet influential factor, as shallow breathing often accompanies slouched posture and reinforces tension in the neck and shoulders, while slower, deeper breaths encourage the chest to expand and the spine to lengthen naturally, creating a feedback loop that supports better alignment. Over time, these seemingly minor choices accumulate into a powerful influence on musculoskeletal health, affecting how comfortable the body feels at the end of the day and how easily it moves during everyday activities. Many people underestimate this cumulative effect because each individual moment feels insignificant. Yet the body's adaptive nature means that consistency matters more than intensity. So a few mindful adjustments repeated throughout the day can outweigh a short session of corrective exercise done once. Even simple cues like placing reminders near a workspace, adjusting chair height, or pausing briefly to realign the head and shoulders can shift posture patterns gradually, making alignment feel more effortless rather than something that requires constant conscious effort. This habit-based approach is particularly valuable because it integrates seamlessly into daily life, removing the need for extra time while still delivering meaningful benefits for comfort and mobility. As these adjustments become automatic, the muscles responsible for supporting upright posture develop endurance naturally, reducing fatigue and helping prevent the cycle of stiffness that often follows long periods of sitting. The result is not just improved posture, but a broader sense of physical ease, as the body experiences less strain and moves more efficiently throughout routine tasks. Over months and years, these consistent micro-choices shape the way the spine, muscles, and nervous system work together, demonstrating that lasting change is less about occasional effort and more about the environment and behaviors that guide the body's alignment day after day in ways that gradually reinforce balance, comfort, and sustainable movement patterns throughout everyday life. As the cumulative influence of these small actions continues to shape posture in a steady and lasting manner. It's a common belief that posture is fixed after a certain age, but the human body remains remarkably adaptable throughout life, and even small, consistent changes can retrain how muscles and joints support the head and spine, which is why improvement is possible no matter when someone starts. As the years pass, Habits become more ingrained, yet the nervous system still responds to new patterns when they are introduced gently and repeated often, allowing the body to relearn alignment without strain or force. Micro adjustments such as briefly lengthening the spine, easing the shoulders down, and guiding the chin slightly back may seem minor in isolation, but when practiced regularly, they create new muscle activation patterns that gradually replace the old ones associated with slouching or forward head positioning. These small corrections also improve body awareness, helping people recognize the difference between tension and balance so they can self correct naturally throughout the day rather than relying on willpower alone. Reduced pain is often one of the first noticeable benefits because better alignment distributes load more evenly across the neck and upper back, relieving pressure on overworked tissues and allowing tight muscles to relax. As discomfort decreases, movement tends to feel smoother and more confident, encouraging greater activity levels that further reinforce strength and mobility, creating a positive cycle of improvement. Confidence itself often grows alongside these physical changes since standing taller subtly influences mood and self perception, and many people report feeling more energized and engaged when their posture improves. Consistency is the key factor that turns these adjustments into lasting results. As the body learns through repetition, gradually building endurance in the stabilizing muscles, so maintaining alignment requires less conscious effort. Over time, what once felt like a deliberate correction becomes the default way of sitting, standing, and walking, showing how powerful gradual adaptation can be. Long-term mobility also benefits because improved posture supports joint health and efficient movement mechanics, which helps preserve independence and comfort in everyday activities as the body ages. This process doesn't require perfection or long exercise sessions, only a willingness to practice brief moments of alignment regularly, making it accessible for people with different fitness levels and lifestyles. Each small adjustment acts like a signal guiding the body toward a more balanced state, and as these signals accumulate, they reshape how the muscles and nervous system coordinate, proving that meaningful change can come from simple habits repeated over time in a steady rhythm that supports comfort, confidence, and resilience throughout the years as the body continues responding to the patterns it experiences, most often without needing dramatic interventions or intense routines to experience noticeable improvement and a greater sense of physical ease, and develops gradually through consistent attention and gentle daily practice that keep forcing healthier normal pattern as part of normal life.